Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know by now I review many photographic, audio and video related products. And if you're new here, well that's exactly what I do. Now today we're taking a look at the products I recently purchased, which is the Rode Wireless Go Mark IIs, which I've got here on my table. Now there's two major differences between the Rode Wireless 1 and the Rode Wireless 2. Firstly, the Rode Wireless 2 has got two transmitters with one receiver. As you can see here, the two transmitters, there they are, and the one receiver that's in the middle. And the Rode Wireless 1 only had the one transmitter. The other major difference is the Rode Wireless 2 has got built-in audio recorders, which the Rode Wireless 1 didn't have. So you've got redundancy built in, you've got backup audio if you need it. Now, I'm really enjoying using the Rode Wireless 1. I've been using them for a long time. Although I recently purchased the Hollyland Lark 150, which is what I'm using here. Hopefully, I have got backup audio going down my Sony A7C with BC1M, BCM1, whatever it's called, ECM B1, I'm not sure. There'll be a link up here somewhere to that review. And that's a great sort of digital kind of shotgun microphone, and I always use a backup audio just in case the main audio is either distorted or there's something wrong with it, maybe the wireless signal goes down, whatever it might be. So we're now looking at the Rode Wireless Go 2s. Now I'm not using them for this audio test obviously because I'm showing you the product here, although I will cut to the audio being recorded on the Rode Wireless Go 2. Now, the transmitters are quite straightforward. Let's choose one which I haven't put the windsock on. These windsocks, by the way, do come with the actual microphones. It comes with 3 of them, so you've got a spare one. So I've actually fitted it to this one. It's bayonet fitting, don't like the fitting one little bit. It's really fiddly to put on. Unlike the Mark 1 version, that is a bit fiddly. I'm not going to bother doing it, but basically they do fit on, and because it's bayonet, once it's on for good. Ain't gonna, you're gonna have no issues with it coming off. Where the Mark 1 version, it was a bit flimsy, wasn't very good. I really do like the way the Hollyland works, but what I will do is another video comparing the Rode Wireless Go 2 with the Hollyland Lark 150. I'm really loving the Lark 150, and I'll explain why I do in that video. But basically, it's very simple design, just the same as it was with the Mark 1 version. You've got a microphone capsule on the top. You've got an external microphone connection here. It's not lockable, so if you plug a lavalier microphone into that, it isn't going to lock, but that shouldn't really be an issue. And you've got your belt clip, just the same as you did on the Mark 1 version. So you've got your belt clip, you've got your 2 LEDs, one denotes power and one denotes your signal. And then you've got your on-off switch, and you've got your USB-C charging port on the side there. So not, very straightforward, not fiddly at all, very straightforward. And obviously there's 2 of them in the kit. So, you've basically got 2 that are, well, they're identical effectively. Now, they're already paired. When you take them out of the box, you haven't got to pair them. They're already paired from the factory, which is, again, another really great, great concept, great idea. You don't have to worry about pairing them. So that's basically the transmitter. So the receiver's quite straightforward. You've got a really nice display on the top there. Nice clear display, and you can see the audio level is, you can actually see the audio levels on both of them. So you can see on channel 1 and channel 2, there's audio coming through on both channels there, which is really good. And you've got your master level going up there. Now, the reason why it's only showing the one signal, because I've got the Rode Wireless Go 2 set to merge. So the 2 audio channels coming into the receiver are going to merge as one stereo output to your camera. Now for me, that's really handy. I don't have to worry about post-editing the audio channels. But what you can do, by holding both buttons in like that, you can set that to be, and there we go, straight into a stereo signal. So each channel is separate. So your left-hand channel, or one of the microphones, will be on the left channel, the other one will be on the right channel. That's great for post-editing. So you can actually increase the level of one if you need to, or decrease the level of one. A really, really nice little feature of that. And it's just a matter of holding the two buttons in at the same time on the top of the unit. So those two buttons, hold them in, and then I can go back to merge mode. And then you've got, you can set your dB letting for the dB setting for each channel. You just hold that button in. You can mute each channel. There's a lot that you can do with it. It's actually, you know, a nice piece of kit. But you can also, if you look closely on that display, you can see there's two little record lights that come on. So what that's doing is automatically recording a backup. It's recording a redundant backup, effectively, because obviously your master audio is going to go into the camera because that's what you're setting up for, to do that. So that's your master audio. But let's say, for example, you lose the signal for whatever reason. The signal drops from the transmitter to the camera and you lose your audio altogether. With the Rode Wireless Go 2s, you've got a backup audio, and it records it internally, actually, on these units. And they're not very big units, but it actually records it internally. And I'm going to show you how you actually retrieve that audio in just a moment. But yeah, that is very, very clever that it does do that. It's not faultless, mind you, and I'll explain quickly why it isn't faultless. But you've got on the top here, obviously, your mute buttons, your audio dB settings, and then you've got on that side your USB power lead, and you've got your master out, your master audio out to your camera there, 3.5mm lead. It comes with it, so you don't have to worry about that. And obviously your on-off switch on the bottom there, and the clip to be able to mount it on your camera, or belt if you're using you know, a long enough lead, although most people would mount it on the camera, obviously. And that's basically the receiver. Ideally, you need to download an app called Rode Central. It works on PC and Windows, on Windows and Mac. Obviously, I'm running a Mac here. And this is actually an essential bit of software for these radio mics. So download Rode Central, and it's a very, very simple app. There's nothing complicated about it at all. And when you click on it, it's going to come up with nothing there. So what you need to do is connect one of your microphones. So what we'll do, we'll connect, let's turn them off now. We don't need these on, so let's turn that off. So we'll turn that off like so. Let's turn one of these off. Right, so and what we'll do now, we'll connect it with a USB-C lead. I think I've got one here. And we'll now connect it to the computer. So basically, obviously, you plug your USB-C lead into the microphone like so. And then that will go into your computer. He says, plug that in. The blue light flashes on the microphone, and it says Rode Central would like to access a removable device. Click on that. Now, what we have now is the audio that the microphone has continuously been recording. And that must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times the microphone has been turned off and on. So, but it is continuous recording. The minute the microphone talks to the receiver, it's going to record. So if you're doing a long take, or you've left the microphones on in between takes, you're going to have a very long clip to try and find the piece of audio that you're looking for. So that's where it's not, you know, faultless. But what I found as a little trick is to just turn the microphones off and on in between takes, and that will give you as close a proximity as you can to the audio that you need. And you can record it compressed or uncompressed. And there's your backup audio. Now it's in a Rode format, so you have to output that. I mean, I don't know if we can hear that. Probably can't hear that, so I haven't got it set up. But what you then need to do, once you've found the clip that you want, you can put markers in, but you need to then export that as a WAV file or MP3 file or whatever you want to do. So you click on export, and then I've got that set to WAV and 48 Hertz, 24-bit. Click on export, choose where you want to put it. Let's just stick it on the desktop, name it whatever you want to name it. Click on export, and then there it comes up there as a WAV file. So that is your redundant backup audio. I think that's great. I mean, that's really nifty. It's not, you know, perfect, but you know, it does the job, and it's very useful in an emergency if you found the audio signal dropped between the transmitter and the receiver. So very, very useful, very handy. And you know, the Rode Wireless 1 hasn't got that, or the Rode Wireless Go Mark 1 hasn't got that particular feature. I think that's a great feature. Also, once you've got your transmitters or your receiver connected to this app, there's a lot of other things that you can do. Oh, I've just gone out of it. There's a lot of other things that you can do. With the actual transmitters, there's not a lot you can do with setting up the transmitter. That's why it hasn't come up with any of the settings. But if you plug your receiver into the unit, let's just plug the receiver in, find the right unit, which is this one. You can see it's the receiver because it's got the display on it. So let's plug that into there. And plug that in. That should now be detected by, and which it has been detected by the computer. So you can set your backlight on or off. I've left that on. Now with the gain settings, you can either set it to fine or coarse. Now coarse means you've either just got low, medium or high with your dB setting, which is what it is on the Rode Wireless Go 1. With the Rode Wireless Go 2, you can set it infinitely. So you've got, if you set it to fine, you can choose using the actual unit, and I'll do that in just a moment. You can actually set it much finer as to where you want the gain setting to be. And I think that's really, really useful. And you can also set a safety channel, and what a safety channel does, again, only works with the backup audio, but what a safety channel does, it records one channel. So because you've got it set to merge, it will record one channel lower than the other channel. So you've got a backup audio basically. So if somebody really shouts loud, or there's a loud noise, you can use the backup audio, which is set to a lower audio level. So that's really, really useful. And then you've got backlight, what the button can do really, the power button. You can set it to set markers. I haven't changed that, I've just set it at its you know, normal setting. So that's basically what this Rode Central app can do. It shows battery level, you know, your proper battery level, clock, you know, clock setting and what have you. Now, if we just disconnect that a second, then you can see with the dB settings on the microphone, actually we'll do it on the actual unit, need to do it on the unit, move my keyboard out of the way. So let's turn this back on again. So that's going to come on, move those right out of the way. So you can see if you adjust the dB setting, let me just do that, it will do it in increments. So you see there, like minus 27 dB, they're doing actual increments rather than low, medium or high. So that's a much better way of setting the audio rather than you know, low, medium or high. And I've got it set to that because that's how I like to do it. And of course with the settings on the camera as well, because the key with audio I've found with certainly wireless microphones is to set the camera up as low as you can. I think I've got mine set to -7 on my Sonys, and the microphone to transmit a higher signal, but not so high that it's going to distort at source, you know. But the hotter the signal that goes into the camera, the lower the preamps can be set on the camera, and you'll get a better signal, better audio signal. So well worth doing that. So what we'll do, I've done enough playing around with these, hopefully I can set it up right. What we'll do then is connect up these, well, one of these radio mics, because there's only me here, and then we'll do a sound test. I'll also, later this afternoon, go into the garden and do a range test. We all like to do these range tests with these wireless microphones. The Lark 150s did really well with that. So it'd be interesting to see how well the Rode Wireless Go Mark II does. Although I won't know how well it does while I'm out there, because I won't be able to hear it. But I'll be able to, obviously I know when I get back to the studio here. So let's go and do a range test, and also just put the microphone on so you guys and girls can actually get some indication. It's not a perfect indication, but some indication how good these Rode Wireless Go Mark II microphone kit really is. So I've now come into the garden to do a range test and for you to be able to hear the audio quality coming from the Rode Wireless Go 2s. They're great microphones, really enjoy using them, but in some areas they're a little bit fiddly. I have got the windsock on the microphone. As you can see, it's not that windy out here, but it's always useful to have it on outdoors. A little bit fiddly to get on and off, but once it's on, it isn't going to fall off like with the Mark I version. It's there to stay because it's a bayonet fit. So that part of it is really good. I did find though, setting up the channels was a bit fiddly. Now, I said in my review that you can set it up to record a backup audio, a lower level audio on one of the channels. So you've got main channel as your main audio, then you've got a backup audio if, you know, it distorts or somebody talks loud or whatever. Well, I didn't want that. I just wanted the one channel to merge to go to the output to the camera as two channels, so I didn't have to do any post editing with the audio afterwards. But what I had to do is plug it back into the computer to reset it, and I found that a bit fiddly. But I've done that now. So we've got the one microphone going down onto both channels on the A7C. Obviously I'm facing the camera and I'm not very far away from it. So what I'm going to do now is just walk down the garden path and see, you know, how good the range is. They're meant to be pretty good. But to be fair, I think they're going to be more than good enough for what anyone's likely to use. Because normally when you're filming a presenter or you're talking to camera, you want to be able to see the person that's doing the talking, so you're not going to be a tremendous distance away. Well, I don't think you are anyway, but anyway, let's see. So we'll walk down the garden path, see if I can trip over the cat. That'd be fun. See you, Sammy. So I don't know, obviously I don't know if you can still hear me. Now I'm facing away from the camera, so I'm hoping you can still hear me. Well, I'll turn to the camera now. Now I can see the camera from here. I'm hoping you can still hear the audio. With the Hollyland Lark 150, you could easily from quite a distance. So I'm hoping you can still see, whether you can still see me, I will be much lower in the frame because I haven't lowered the tripod or lowered the camera. But hopefully you can still hear me from this distance. I will put in the video what distance this is, so you know, so you get an idea. And I'm stood by the workshop here, so let's go down a bit further. Now I'm going to turn me back to the camera, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if the audio disappears. But now again I'm facing the camera. The likelihood you'll be able to see me is pretty unlikely because I'm quite a distance away. I'll put in the description how far away I am, but that's me still waffling on, and you know, they should be pretty good. I'm hoping I can still, you know, hear the audio from this distance. Now let's walk back. Now I'm going to keep facing the camera as I walk back and see what I trip over to see if the audio does stay rather than go. So I am still facing the camera, I'm walking backwards. Let's hope that we can still hear the audio. I don't know if we can. Now, I've walked back to the patio door. So I'm at the patio door. Again, I will put in the description the distance, what that is. So because I'm facing the camera, I'm hoping the audio is still coming out okay. We won't know until, well, I won't know until I look at it on the computer. Now I'm going to go into the patio. Let's go into the patio and see if we can still hear the audio. And you should hear a distinct difference in sound because I'm indoors now as opposed to being outdoors, so this will probably be just that little bit echoey. I'm going to start walking back to the camera. I did say that earlier in the kitchen, but you may not have picked that up. So I'm now walking back to the camera down the garden path, and we're going to meet little Sammy. Here's little Sammy. He's going to come with us because I want him to come with us. So here we are, me and Sam walking down the garden path, heading towards the camera. He doesn't want to be picked up. He's not a sort of cat that likes being picked up. So here we go. And here we are, back to the camera. Obviously, we should get a, very, very good sound feed here. Sam might be, you enjoying that, Sam? You can hear the birds. You want to taste those birds, don't you? You want to taste, you like those birds, don't you? So, knocked a plant over. Oh dear. So here we go. That is the Rode Wireless Go 2 range test and sort of audio test at the same time. Obviously I couldn't do an audio test in the studio because I was showing you the product, but now you can hear what the audio is like, provided everything is set a-okay with both the transmitter, the receiver, the camera settings and what have you. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. If you do enjoy the channel, please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the like button. Really appreciate that. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed and has liked my videos. It helps me grow the channel. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video and photography. Cheers for now. Bye.